Yeah, as you say, I mean, presumably some people, or a lot of people, get promoted to be a boss, as you said, and then don't enjoy it. I mean, a lot of it must be down to people's individual personalities, that perhaps they're not even sure if they're going to be able to do the job that they've been given.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, if your choice is, look, you can take this job and, signal ambition, get paid more, but you've got to manage people, and that's not something you particularly want to do. You're probably still going to take it. So there's also a degree of self-awareness here. What is it that will make you happy? What is it that you want to do? Are the trade-offs worth it? I should say, by the way, Stuart, I mean, one thing that is now coming into play here is AI. So is it, we've had all of these human ways of making people better. The interesting thing in the next few years is it possible that this technology is going to help people to become a better manager?
Exactly what I was going to ask you next, because I had a look down some of the podcasts that you've done, particularly recently, and an awful lot of them are AI related, aren't they? I mean, there's even one where you build an AI clone of yourself. I mean, how much of an impact do you think AI is going to have?
I think it's going to have a huge impact over time. So the point of the most recent episodes was to basically, as an unsophisticated user myself, try to get better at using AI, but also to answer the question. We're in this really, really odd moment now where this magical technology is also disappointing in very many ways. And organizations say that it's going to be transformative, but that's not showing up in the numbers. So trying to work out exactly what is going on was the task that I set myself in the most recent episodes of the podcast. And it is a pretty confusing picture. I think over time, this thing is going to be extraordinarily important within workplaces, but there are all sorts of reasons why getting it to work now is exceptionally hard.
And for a boss as well, I mean, it's going to be very challenging, isn't it? Because it is going to mean inevitably that some people's roles are going to have to be reassigned. Some people's roles may disappear. Other new roles will need creating too. Yeah,
so one problem that bosses have is that, they want to test this technology out, but the best way to do that is to get lots of people within an organization playing around with it. This is an experimental technology. You've got to try it. You've got to get good at it. But employees have rather limited incentive right now to try it, or at least to admit that they're trying it. Because if you say, look, this is amazing, I'm 50% more productive, you're immediately, in the minds of some employees, putting your hand up for potential redundancy, right? A bot can do my job.
Yeah.
So trying to incentivize people to use it is actually a really big challenge right now.
Yeah, because, I mean, one of the big problems is if the computers, I suppose, can outperform humans, where do the staff fit into it? I know you've addressed that.
Yeah, there are categories of jobs which are really at risk, and I think we absolutely shouldn't underplay that. So very routine back office jobs, entry-level jobs, so graduates, junior people coming into the workforce, they are vulnerable. Other jobs tend to be mixes of tasks that bring together human and sort of machine compatible jobs. And you can imagine that being much more hybrid. There's a sort of AI augmenting what you do, but that is not to underplay the threat to certain types of more vulnerable positions.
Well, if people listening to this are inspired by what you've said, I'm sure they want to find out more. You've got a column in The Economist and also, of course, the podcast. Tell us about them and what the aim is, if you like.
Yeah, so the aim of both is to help people to navigate the workplace a bit better. The Economist writes a lot about big macro impersonal trends, but all of us, or large numbers of us, are working inside, workplaces, offices, wherever it may be, trying to navigate this really odd mixture of kind of science and art, humans and systems. So my job is to try and make that understandable, to hopefully offer a bit of practical advice and to be relatively entertaining along the way. So yes, weekly column in The Economist and this tremendous podcast that we're talking about now.
Well, you've entertained us this morning. Good to hear your views. Andrew Palmer, thanks very much for being with us on the programme. Management columnist for The Economist and also host of that podcast called Boss Class, as you saw. Andrew, thanks very much.